Welcome everybody to the Wrestling Commentaries. This is episode 2. I'm Travis, this is John. Let's get to it, John.
Last night we saw one of those very rare things in wrestling, the double return.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, why are you watching this video first off? Because, this was Monday Night Raw with a huge promo involved with it. Anyway,
I will say they set it all up right. They had the countdown throughout the show. Did it deliver? That one's arguable.
Yeah. But the people we are talking about is, of course, The Undertaker. And more of a surprise return was Triple H. Made his return also. During the promo where they confronted each other, no words were said.
But you knew exactly what they were saying.
Yep.
Which was nothing. But you knew what their intentions were through their actions. Simple things like looking at the WrestleMania logo.
Undertaker doing his cutthroat gesture.
And Triple H doing his.
Suck it. And, that was it.
And you knew Triple H meant business, because whenever he came out there, you just saw the water just come out of his mouth, like, just drop out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That's when you know he means business.
Yeah. And then we also had the return, the answer to The Rock's promo, The Rock cut last week by John Cena and The Miz. We'll go over Cena's first, since his was longer and it was at the very beginning of the show. Yeah. They had Cena go back to his rapper gimmick for a few minutes so he could cut a promo worth of crap. And by worth of crap, I mean it was a great promo. I just don't like his promos now. If that makes sense. His rapper promos were great. These are subpar.
Yeah, good enough for me.
And then we had The Miz have his promo, which was not as strong.
It was alright.
It was good. It was good for The Miz, but I don't even know how they expected him to try to even stack up against The Rock on the mic.
He can't. Cena can't either.
Cena's closer.
He's closer, but he still can't. You don't stack up to The Rock, Travis.
Well, no, we went over that. The Rock's the best on the mic ever.
Oh, and also, past 2 weeks you get The Rock, Triple H, and Undertaker last night. Who's coming next week? Bruno Sammartino? I would have said Austin, but we know who's coming for Tough Enough.
We know Austin's coming. And then, and the night before that, we had the return of Trish Stratus, who's going to be a trainer on Tough Enough.
And another return that night.
Christian. Captain Charisma himself is back from injury.
Oh, speaking of Christian, you want to know what would sound like Vince Russo booking?
What?
Bring in a guy and call him Atheist and have him feud with Christian. That's Vince Russo for you guys.
Okay. Anyway, on to what happened later in the night.
If I can stop you for 1 minute, Jim Cornette's probably watching me say that comment and say, that is spot on.
Yes, we do respect the comments of Jim Cornette.
And we hate Vince Russo.
Very much. Anyway, we also had a titles change.
Twice.
And we're talking about the tag titles. In the main event, we've seen The Miz and Cena tag up against Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, the tag team champions. And in 3 minutes and some odd seconds, The Miz pinned Justin Gabriel, and Cena and Miz won the tag titles.
Right.
So they were official tag team champions. But right after that, Wade Barrett decided that
they were going to invoke their rematch clause, and
which is in, the right of a champion. Former champion, whatever.
And this time we saw Cena have Slater up for the attitude adjustment, and Miz came up behind him and gave him the skull-crushing finale, thus leading to, once again, new tag. We had to say it at the same time, right? 1,
What?
2, 3. Say it at the same time. Let's just.
Okay, new tag team champions.
Okay, new tag team champions. You get the point.
Yeah.
I was just pointing out how we said it at the same time last time. We needed to do that.
Yes, okay. But that also makes Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater 3 times tag team champions. People, do you realize that the Dudley Boys only have 14? Not including the TNA ones? Did you know that?
14?
14.
Huh.
And that's the record. I mean,
We're
that's what I'm saying. They already have 3. They've been around for a year. A year, and they have 3.
That doesn't mean they'll.
How many did Edge and Christian win?
Like, together, like 7 or 8 or so.
And we consider them one of the greatest. They're already halfway there. I'm just saying that titles mean nothing anymore.
That's about right. But what if they never win? What if after this they never win another tag title? Then they're 3
Then that's okay. Right. I'm just saying, though, that, I mean, think about how many great tag teams. The APA, how many times they win it? Twice?
Did they ever even win it?
Exactly, but they're considered a great tag team.
Sometimes it's, Travis, sometimes it's more of the legacy you leave behind, not really the titles you win.
I still think your title count matters. Because Kane is a 2-time heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you really think titles count, why don't you call up Roddy Piper and talk to him about that?
Why is that?
He's never won a world title.
I'm saying that, like, it matters how many times you've won a title. I'm not saying just because you haven't won one doesn't mean that, you know, your career isn't as great as anybody else's. Think about Mr. Perfect.
Yes, he is! Get him, Hot Rod! No, I'm just kidding.
Mr. Perfect, British Bulldog, Roddy Piper,
Owen Hart,
Jerry the King Lawler. All these men never held the world title.
No, King did hold a world title, but it was AWA or NWA or...
Well, you know what I mean, the WWE or F, depending on the era they wrestled. I'm just saying.
Or WCW.
Well, yes, that's true too. Which I don't understand why the NWA doesn't count towards the WCW. Because that's what it evolved from. Even though I know the NWA was it was a national alliance of wrestling federations, but, I mean, it should count.
Vince McMahon came up with the ultimate idea of combining the territories. Vince McMahon Jr., that is.
Yep. Okay, now
let's talk about Triple H and The Undertaker's big return. What does this mean for WrestleMania? Does this mean more people will buy it? Of course, yes.
Does it mean that Taker's streak's going to end?
I wouldn't count it.
Absolutely not. 19-0, one more to go.
Oh, shoot. That was lame.
It's true.
I can't wait till next year.
Because we all know, 20-0, he's going to be done.
Yeah.
I mean...
Who do you think he's going to face? Cena? Sting?
At the final WrestleMania?
Yeah.
I'd hazard a guess Sting, because that's another year for them to try to get it.
Yeah.
And we know they want to get Sting, not just for that match, but for for the Hall of Fame too.
True.
I mean,
or maybe they'll just go full circle and have him wrestle Jimmy Snuka for his last one.
That would be very appropriate.
But it would be a horrible match.
Again.
Yeah. Or maybe Ricky Steamboat. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Or Kane again. We could go there again.
Yeah. Let's see. The first time was an amazing match, and it was huge because that was the first time Kane ever lost a match. The second time, the match wasn't as big because they were focusing more on the return. And the third time, they're both kind of old. Let's see what we can get out of it.
What about having The Rock come back? Because it is going to be in Miami. next year. I mean, and if you're gonna do one more match, even though he says he doesn't want to, you know the rule in wrestling: never say never. And I mean, it would be amazing. Think about it: The Rock and Undertaker, and Undertaker's last match. Rock can bow out gracefully at the end. You know what I mean? Shake his hand when it's all said and done. One of those type of things.
But I think if they brought The Rock back for a match, it'd probably be against Cena.
But I don't know. I would rather see The Rock and Undertaker.
Would it be a more iconic match for the Attitude Era's fans? Sure. Be great. I would personally love to. I mean, but The Rock and Undertaker have faced each other before.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Think about how many careers would go out with The Undertaker. Shawn, we're all pretty sure Triple H, and then The Rock.
But The Rock's career is
already done, but I mean, but that could be the final
Maybe that
match.
could be the end of his acting career.
The Rock is a fine actor, John.
I know that, but maybe he could put up his acting career as the stake.
20-0 versus the acting career?
Versus the game plan.
Oh. Wow.
No, 20-0 versus Doom. How about that for your selling point?
There you go. You can just wipe that off the freaking face of the planet. Couldn't happen too soon.
Or we could have 20-0 versus the Marine.
The Marine was a good movie.
18
rounds.
No, have him go against Ted DiBiase and have it.
The Marine too. He did fine in that too. Legendary versus 20-0. There you go. Because we've got the Chaperone versus 20-0 or 19-0 this year.
The Chaperone.
Oh, actually, I've heard it got pretty good reviews.
You know, and people are complaining about how Undertaker and Triple H just forgot about what happened to them before. You guys gotta remember something. Life goes on after WrestleMania. They could very well go on to feud with their respective people, and we don't even know that the Triple H Undertaker match is going to be career-threatening yet.
Yep. But I have the feeling it will be, because it's time for Triple H to start working heavily behind the scenes. He already does a lot of work, but I mean, the torch is getting ready to be passed to him, and he needs to step down. What better way than go out on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania, and against the greatest WrestleMania main eventer of all time,
The Undertaker.
Yep. You know what's really funny too about the whole streak thing? Real quick before we go.
What's that?
They didn't even really start making it a big deal until he's Biker Taker.
Pretty much. Even then, it didn't really become a big deal until Orton faced Cena. I mean, not Cena, but Taker.
Yeah.
God, what was I thinking there?
Because he claimed he was going to break the streak. You know what's a really funny quote too, and this is what we're going to go out on. It was last year, right after WrestleMania. The Miz.
Yeah.
And he said, I won my match at WrestleMania. I'm 1-0. 17 more.
And I'm tied with The
Undertaker. And that's something to think about, people. Thank you all for watching. Episode 3 will be posted as soon as we can.